Bonjour darling! Today I come back to you as promised to talk to you about my writing, where I'm at, what I'm planning to do, and a little bit of my reading too. So writing wise, I've got a lot to tell you. First, I have signed with Mad Raptors Production to be published in an anthology, the anthology called Quarantine With. All profits will be given to a charity. I'm not sure if I can say which one yet, so I won't talk about that. In this anthology, I wrote The Typewriter, which is a short story about a woman that starts to write again during quarantine. It's a little bit of a paranormal story, not a paranormal romance, but just a paranormal story, and I hope you'll like it. I hope you'll even love it. I can't wait for you to read it. Also, I have sent my novel to publishers. I have searched a bit for an agent, but the agency that I found that is not too far from my home doesn't take any writers now because they are a small company and they only have 5 agents working and they don't have any place on their schedule for new writers. So yeah, I've sent my novel to publishers and now I just have to wait a few months to know if I will be published. It's a long process in France to be published. I think I will wait a month or two to start sending manuscripts to other houses, and I will just hope it's okay. I'm not sure I've talked about what Chronicles of the Blue Moon, Chronique de la Lune Bleue, is about. Chronicles of the Blue Moon takes place in Cantatoria. It is a country ruled by the Cantatrice. She is a goddess-like figure. It is a theocracy, and she rules with the help of 4 counselors, and in this world there is a magic system that revolves around singing, composing. It's called la composition, composing. Human beings can shape the world as they want it, as long as they understand on a scientific level what they do. And there are 7 taboos to this composition. And one day, in an atmosphere of fear and anger and doubt because the people is poor and on the verge of a revolution and there are terrorist attacks, someone breaks the first taboo. So, this is the synopsis of my story. There are 3 main characters: Seth, Alaric, and Chatty E, a thief, an enchantress, and an hermit. It's 3 POVs. You follow each characters either on an entire chapter or on a third of a chapter, and it means a lot to me. It means a lot because I've spent years developing that world and that story. It's also the story of my TTRPG campaign, a really long one that lasted 3 years. The book is only on the first chapter of that campaign, and I hope to make it a series, even though the first book can stand on its own. So I really hope something happens. Also, on a last note, I'm trying to write a romance story. It's not something that I'm used to, but I just wanted to try because I saw Violet Gaze that wanted to publish a few authors for an anthology on the theme of enemies to lovers, and I wanted to try something new to get out of my comfort zone. I'm not sure I will send the short story because it's a first try, so I can't say I'm sure it will be good enough to be published. Yeah, I'm also planning on doing NaNoWriMo. I will be writing the first draft of the second volume of Chronicles of the Blue Moon, Chroniques de la Lune Bleue. So yeah, that's what's happening to me writing-wise. What's happening to me reading-wise is that I've started the first book of The Witcher and I'm loving it. I've also bought the 3 books of Hunger Games because I wanted to reread it since a 4th book, the prequel, was published. A Ballad of Songbird and Snake. Ballad of Songbird and Snake, I think that's the title. I've also been reading a French book. It's by Cornelia and it's Alana et l'enfant vampire, Alana and the Vampire Child. It's a middle grade and I'm loving it. If you are French speaking and you like middle grade, it's the story of Alana, and she is part of a family of, they are not vampire hunters, they are vampire counselors to help relationships between vampire clans and help them keep the secret about their identities. One day, her parents and her sister go away to help vampires and Alana is angry because she can't go with them. Her friend Oli, he's sure that Joao, a new student in their class, is a vampire, and Oli doesn't know about vampires, but Alana, I think I'm not at this stage yet, will try and see if he is indeed a vampire. It's a really interesting story and I love it a lot. For French speakers, again, I'm reading a TTRPG book, Influenza, by Thomas Munier. I think there is an English version of this TTRPG. It's a really interesting universe. It happens in Millevaux. Millevaux is a magical forest world, or world in the future that has been destroyed by that gigantic forest, and they have started to forget everything about the past and about themselves, and they are Horlas, the Horlas that are created by the magical energy of the forest and of human feelings that have appeared to. So it's interesting, and the game system is really unique. You don't really have characteristics or things like that. You have sentences, and those sentences define your character. They are either positives or negatives, and they flesh out your character little by little, and every time you do something, you bet one of the sentences or multiple sentences, and you have the risk to lose one of them, which means losing a part of yourself. It's such a creative game system. I love it a lot, and I recommend it to all my TTRPG lovers. On my rereading of the Inheritance Cycle, I am still reading Inheritance, the third book in the series. I'm reading it slowly AF. I'm sorry about that. I can't help it. They are big babies and I'm reading slowly. Also, I am beta reading Goddess of Nothing at All by Kat Rector. It's the story of Sigyn, Loki's wife, and of Loki, their love story, their history, and about Ragnarok. I will not say anything more, except that I'm loving it. We are supposed to read, she sends us the book in chunks, Google Doc files with 3 to 5 chapters in each, and we are supposed to read it one every week. We are supposed to read one every week, and we should be around chapter 20, I think. I am closer to chapter 70. So yes, I love it a lot. I will leave all informations about that book down in the description box. Oh, and I forgot to tell you, I'm attempting half Milwardy. Milwardy is a writing challenge where you try to write 1 million words a year. I'm doing half of it, so 500k in a year, and it's not happening well. I hope I will do better during NaNoWriMo and manage to keep up. I don't think I will. I think I'll fail, but at least I would have tried. So it's not all that bad, is it? I hope you liked this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell to be notified every time I post a new video. You can also follow me on social media, all links down below, and as always, au revoir darling!